So for today's video, it is something a little bit different. I'm actually trying out 3 different rackets in this video. It's like, we play a set, but I am trying 3 different rackets. I was recommended to get like a heavier weight just because mine was like 280 grams, I think, and I was told that it was very light. It was ridding me from like some power and just control that I could have. And I was recommended because I was using the Babolat Boost Drive, not the Pure Drive, the Boost Drive. So I was recommended that I should use like the Pure Aero, and I couldn't find that actually. It wasn't, I think someone had it already because when I tried to demo it, I thought I got the Pure Aero, but I actually got the Pure Aero Team. But they said it plays a little bit similar, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I was trying it out, and just off the bat, I did not like how it felt when the ball was hitting my racket. It didn't feel smooth at all compared to the Babolat I had, but it did have a lot of spin potential. Like as you can see right there, I had a really good time with like adding spin on my shots. Like top spin was good. I had a lot more than I usually have. And you know, Babolat is obviously known for their spin, so I wasn't too scared of like lacking the spin, as I could say, but I was scared of losing power. And going along with the other rackets, I also tested out the YONEX EZONE 98. I'm sorry. And the 98 it felt so heavy on my wrist because I wasn't used to, it was 305 grams, and I was not used to having such a heavy racket ever since like like 5 years ago, like freshman year in high school. But it did feel a lot smoother. I loved how it played. I don't think I just wasn't used to the weight, but like the touch, like over there, the touch was amazing. I loved the feel, like the power. It was so easy. It was like power from like not even moving my body. And I know the EZONEs are known for that. Like Kyrgios use the EZONE, and a lot of pros use the EZONE. And I heard that it does give a lot of power, like just unhinged power. It does have a lot of control, but as far as spin goes, the VCore has more of it than the EZONE, and I could feel it lacking. I mean, my flash shots were going down deep in the court. It was very flat. Like my playstyle was pretty flat, I would say. And I really liked it. It was very smooth on my arm. I didn't feel. This is all without a dampener, and I really never played without a dampener before, so it felt really nice to get used to that. It also helped like me learning how to get an aggressive playstyle, because that's what I was trying to do. Like I'm trying to develop more of an aggressive playstyle, like an all-court type of player instead of just staying at the baseline. And I feel like this is like one of the best rackets to do that with, because like it just gets the angles really nice. The grip, it was 4 1/4. It just felt so big though on my hand compared, like everything else, every other racket was the same grip size, and it just felt a lot smaller. So I don't know what was up with that, but it definitely felt just a lot more clunkier, I would say. But the slices were fine. It was deep down the line. Everything else played really well with this racket. Now when I was testing out the VCore 100, it was strong with Hyper G, and I've never really tried a polystring in my life besides like the Babolat spin, and I didn't like it at all. I took it off after like a week of playing, but it had a lot of power, I would say. it's such a light racket. Even though this was at, I think, 300 grams, it was very, it felt light when I was swinging. Like, it swung through the air like literally like butter. And I feel like the string and like how fast it went through the, like the head speed went through the air, dealt a lot with my balls going out when I was testing them. But I could tell that the spin has so much potential, and that's why I didn't give up on it as much as I did with the Babolat, because I wasn't feeling the Babolat at all. But this racket had me feeling some type of way, man. Like, I loved the feel. There was a pop every time I hit it, right when you hit the sweet spot. And the power that I got from it, like on my serve, were unmatched. Like the EZONE had like, it was like a similar feel, but it was not as good as I felt the VCore. I do have this, like, I wasn't really fond of the Hyper G strings. Like, while I was playing, I thought it would play a lot better with the hybrid string set they had on the EZONE. I believe it was like the YONEX Dino Wire plus like the Tour poly strings, I believe. But it felt really nice on the EZONE, and I thought it might feel a lot better on the VCore. But the, like, hitting the shots, like the control and the spin on this racket was insane. Like, at the end of this like game, it was definitely like a rough tie between these two YONEX rackets, and I could not decide on which one I would rather buy. It was hard to decide. Like, I had to go back and ask to extend it another day because I really couldn't decide just between this one game and how they played. One thing I will say about this though, I did go in and I did try the VCore 98, and it did have a hybrid setup almost exactly the same as the EZONE, and I did play with that, and it was a lot more better and smoother than the VCore 100. I think it might be because of the smaller head size, but it had a lot more, for me it felt a lot more smooth, and it just the VCore, it looks so nice and it cuts through the air. I was so tempted to buy it just because of the design, because the EZONE kind of looks bland, but I wasn't about to do that just because of how it looked. So throughout this game, I did eventually go back to the EZONE 98 just because it felt a lot more better and smooth in my hands. It didn't feel as the VCore felt very smooth when I swung it in the air, very fast. This one I could feel the weight like on my wrist and my arm when I was just like in general when I was twisting it, and it gave a lot of power and control. I really liked that, but it just didn't feel as comfortable for me as the VCore. Like the VCore, it wasn't, I couldn't gain the control I wanted with, at least with the one I was playtesting. The 98 was actually very good when I tested it later on, but the VCore 100, it just didn't give me that much comfortability. I could, like, every time I swung, it wasn't guaranteed that it was gonna go in the box, in between the lines. And with the EZONE, every time I hit an approach shot, it did feel like it was just gonna go straight in, and I could put away shots. So that was the difference between the two of them when I play tested this. So basically, my conclusion after testing these three rackets, the Babolat Pure Aero Team, what I wanted to demo was actually the Pure Aero. I didn't realize I was getting the team until she told me, and I already was in the car. But I looked it up online. It didn't look like there was that much different of a specs except for like power. Personally, because I use a Babolat Boost Drive right now, the Pure Aero Team did not feel good at all. I tried using it for 2. I could not. It was just not right for me. The YONEX, however, I fell in love with the YONEX EZONE 98. That was my favorite racket. The touch, the feel, the power, everything. It was a lot more forgiving than I feel like the VCore 100. I feel like it's also because the VCore was strong with Hyper G, and those are powerful strings. Like, I could not handle it. It was a little too much for me. But I really did like the feel and the weight of the VCore 100 more than the EZONE, because the EZONE was a lot heavier and I could feel it. It did give me a little bit more power, but I felt a lot more. I was able to swing a lot more faster with the VCore. And I was thinking, like, with the string pattern I have for the EZONE, I was wondering if I switched that to the VCore, it might feel a lot better and a lot more controlled, I think. I feel like I would really like the VCore 100 if the string pattern was different, because I think the EZONE was strung with a Polytor something mixed with like a hybrid. It was YSG, something like that. I have no idea, but it was like it had 2 different strings on it, and I just really liked the racket. It was a lot more comfortable, but I feel like if I had the chance to play and warm up with the VCore a lot more, I would really like it. Maybe I would even get used to the Hyper G, because that gave me so much power for no reason. But who knows? I'm gonna be playing with them again. I'm definitely not gonna touch the freaking Babolat racket. I'm not touching those anymore. But yeah, I really do think I'm going to leave Babolat and go with the YONEX just because of how it felt. But we'll see what I choose by next week.